friends, welcome back to my channel, Intentional with Jennifer. Today I want to talk about some of my project pan stuff. So for me, the project panning, for the most part, I love most of my products that I have. Any product that I already had that maybe it wasn't quite the right shade, I really tried to use it and do all the stuff with it. And then if it didn't work for me, I passed it off to one of my girls. So I have three girls. I have my oldest daughter. She has a slightly lighter complexion than I do. I'm in the light to medium, and she's more like a fair to light. And she has like a pinky to peach undertone, whereas I have like the pink to neutral undertones. And then there's my younger daughter, and she is slightly deeper skin tone than me. She's more of a solid light medium, closer to medium than I am. And she has, her undertones are more of a neutral to warm, like yellow underlying. And then I have my bonus daughter. She is my oldest son's girlfriend, and she's been with us for 5 years. So she's my bonus daughter. Her skin tone is more of a probably a light medium to medium, and she really seems like she has more of a neutral undertone than you know more neutral than my younger daughter. So when I have stuff that just straight up doesn't work for me, it might work for one of my girls. So like I had tried this Makeup by Mario sculpting, like contour, sculpting like contour bronzing type stick. I got it in a travel size. I think it was in like a light medium, something along those lines. I tried it. It was pulling a little orange on me. I tried it every which way. I thought maybe I was too heavy on it. It just didn't quite look right on me. So I gave that over to my bonus daughter. It looks amazing on her. I had a Patrick Ta blusher. It was the first one I got. I want to say I got She's a Doll, or maybe She's the Girl, or something like that. It was a neutral bright pink. Because it was neutral, I thought it could work for me, but I think my skin tone was just too light for the level of brightness. So I tried it every which way. I tried to be so light-handed with it. I tried mixing it with powder. It never quite looked right. I just couldn't make it look right. So I gifted that to my younger daughter. She wore that over the weekend to go out for her birthday, and it looked stunning on her. She still was a light hand, but it looked absolutely stunning on her. So it was so good. Like, it belongs on her for sure. So with that, most of the time, if I have a product that's just not quite right for me, whether it be a setting spray or a perfume or whatever, one of my girls is going to like it. And so I don't necessarily worry about something getting thrown away if I don't love it. And if I give it a try and it just didn't work and I misjudged, there's somebody who's going to enjoy it. So with that being said, I do have some items that I want to pan. Some because I don't enjoy them and I want them gone, and others because I'm afraid they might expire and I love them and I don't want to not get to use them to the fullest extent that I could have used them. So I did just pan and discard, declutter a full like 18 pan Morphe makeup palette because it was simply too much makeup for me. It was just too many choices in one place, and I really need smaller bite-sized things for me to be able to handle it as far as like which items should I put together. So I learned like I can't do those really big pans. Doing quads is better for me, but I do still have this Morphe. This is in Cabernet Blush. I love these colors. All right, every single one in here I love. And I hit pan. I did. I hit pan in that one. That one is called Sinfully Sweet. And I have got a number of dips. I don't know if we can see this if I do it this way, but I have a number of dips. I've got dips. Oops, sorry. Dips over here. I've got dips here. In all the shimmers, I have dips. Pretty much this one, I don't really have much of a dip. And then these guys over here, I don't have much of a dip. And so when I hit that pan, I was like, that's exciting. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I had used it to the point that I hit a pan. And then I noticed like, oh gosh, if I don't start using some of these other ones, I will be gone with my favorite and then will I not want to use it? And I hadn't been giving the other ones a chance. And so I said, let me start utilizing this. So like today I am utilizing this. I went with this one down here. I did the full lid and then above the crease line. And then this one here, I did on the outer corner and up into the crease. And then I did this one right here in the center. And then I did this one right here in the inner. And so that first one, it was called Sip Tease. The corner, it's called Chateau Stir. Over the center, I did, it's called Party Crush. And then in the inner corner, I did Wishful Winking. So I like the look. I liked all the colors. And everything's performing nicely. So I wanted to make sure that I get the full use out of it before something occurs that it maybe isn't performing as nicely. I did already have another 9-pan palette from Morphe that I had decluttered a long while back because it stopped performing, and I bought them at the same time. I suspect they were probably different formulas, but I just didn't want to take that chance with this one. It will make me feel very bad. So my goal, I'm going to keep this and do this as a project pan. I'm going to be keeping this in my makeup until I hit pan in every single one of those, and then I will figure that out. So I do participate in like this every month. I'll switch out my makeup and do this like daily makeup drawer situation. I do that mostly so that I cut down on the time it takes me to figure out what I'm going to do in the morning. If I have too many choices, I get decision paralysis. So I don't want to not use something because I just focus on one because it's easier. So instead what I'm doing is every month I switch out what I keep in the bathroom and everything else stays in my room. And that's it. That's what I'm using. Maybe perhaps if I have a very incredibly specific eye look that I want to do because I'm going to a function, then maybe, yes, I can go grab that item. But for the most part, I feel like I love all my makeup, so I'm not really having that be a thing for me. So that's one item into there that I'm going to do. The other item is this Bad Gal Bang. This is a Benefit mascara. It has a really interesting brush. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's like one of those silicone brushes. There's barely any bristling to it. The lashes look nice when it's on. The formula feels nice when it's on. It's in this really pretty like burgundy color. Which on a blue eye just makes the eyes like pop. So that's why I got it. It does have a shelf life of 6 months, and so this one is expiring at the end of this month, so I just really want to like use it as much as I possibly can. I will not repurchase this because it is not waterproof and it is most definitely not smudge proof. And every time I wear it, I end up with like burgundy all the way down, all the way down. I have no idea how it's migrating so much, but it is. And I don't like when I must recheck my makeup. That is just simply not something that I feel like I have time or patience for. It's one thing if I'm reapplying my lip, which normally I don't do until I like get into the car, and as my car's warming up, I'll look in the mirror and be like, oh, let me reapply my lip. But usually I don't have to reapply the lip liner. It's just whatever the lipstick and maybe gloss is. So that's what's happening with that. So that will go away at the end of the month. The Cabernet blush will stay until I hit pan and everything, and then we'll see if I'm just like, nah, this just stays in my monthly, or if I start rotating out by the month. Okay, so this is my little container that I keep all my stuff in. You can tell by the size of my hat, like it's not this big, okay? It's got two drawers in the bottom, and then this top piece. You can kind of see what can fit up there. Currently, I have a very large bottle of setting spray, my sunscreen. I have, this is my Dalba for serum spray. I use this to soften when I have powder because I like to have that, more of that dewy look. I have two foundations in here currently because I'm working on the Hourglass. I have two Patrick Todd duos, which is not normally what I do, and I've got 1, 2, 3 eyeshadow quads, and a couple of blushers and a highlighter. All right, so in my bottom drawer is where I keep eyeliners, shadow sticks, and lip liners. I also keep my Makeup Forever Aqua Seal. This is for giving longevity on your lip liner. So I learned this from somebody else. You just put a drop onto the tip of your lip liner, and then when you put it on, it like really creates a seal of it. And then I still do a little smudge out if I don't want a super heavy line, and that's really useful. And then I just keep my my sharpener in there. So those things stay in there. And then the second drawer is where I will keep my Duralogical Ultra Calming Serum. That's something that sometimes I get irritated skin. That helps calm that down. I will keep my contour stick. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills. I found that's the one for me. So I'm not going to be trying any others anymore. That's the one for me. That's the one I'm sticking with. I currently have some brow products in here, color corrector in here, concealer in here, more color corrector, and little tiny powder. Why am I showing you that? Because some of this stuff is going to be in this project pan. Okay, so here's my story of this guy. I can't start this guy yet. I will tell you why. This here is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer. This one is the one that's like a triangle shape. I don't know if you can see that. I think I have this in like soft brown. I felt like I was using too much of the Kosas Nano Pop. I do have several areas in my brows that like are just have balding areas, probably from over plucking in the 80s and 90s. I didn't do a ton of plucking, but I think as I'm aging with menopause, I think it's just, they're just not growing back in the same way. Also, the hairs that are growing back like the similar color to my skin, so it's hard to see. So I got this product in the full size. It has an awesome spoolie at the end, and I liked it. And then I was going on a trip to Italy, and I needed to bring all my stuff with me because we were actually doing a vow renewal, and I needed to be able to do all my makeup for myself. I was having my hair done because I don't always know how my hair was going to behave. And my arms get really tired trying to do all of that. But I did my makeup. I practiced for months on end. I, figured out the look I was doing. I even created my own blush like look with it. Did all this stuff. And then I ordered this from Sephora. It was a mini. It was online only. It arrived in. I threw it in my pack for traveling. On the Sephora site, it did in fact show that the travel size had a spoolie. My expectation was it will be half the product because there's a spoolie and that's how they make it small. Except I arrived to Italy and there is no spoolie. There was the same amount of product as the full size. I don't know. I don't know if it was just a misprinting on the Sephora site or if it was an incorrectly made product that made it out to me. I don't know which it is. Either way, I'm hate panning this pup when I get to it. So that's going to go into my project pan, but it can't go into my project pan until I finish these products because these ones actually expire before that one does. So I don't want to run into that. So this here is the, I think it's the mini size, and everything rubbed off. So this is the, I think it's like the Gimme Brow, might be what it's called. It's in the shade 3, and it's just for like filling in the color because like I said, a lot of my eyebrow hairs are actually coming in lighter and so even though there's more hair there, you can't see it because it's come in so light. So the bulk of my brows are the color you're seeing. And so I just filled this in so that it does a little bit more blending. And then this here, I thought this looked like a really nifty concept. Both of these are from Benefit, by the way. And this is the Mighty Fine Brow Pen. And I thought this was a really cool concept in that it has these, oh, sorry, I'm completely out of the film there. Sorry about that, you guys. It's got these 3 little sections there. I think you can see it that way. I want to say it's a little bit like a felt pen, and if you hold the felt pen upside down, sometimes the ink doesn't get into the pen, and so I do have to shake it down like this a lot. Now, I do not know if that is simply like the cartridge is in wrong, or if that's just how it works, but it's a little bit too high maintenance for me. So when I finish this, I will not be doing this product again. I do think that I will likely eventually make my way back over to Kosas because I did very much like the brow pencil. But I think I also want to try their brow tint stuff because I do generally like most of the Kosas stuff. So I will do that. But once I finish these, then I'm going to work on this and then I will be done with those. And I'm going to let you know when I finish those out. The other thing that I'm panning is this Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. This, I believe, is probably a mini. I feel like I bought it from the little kiosk center over by the registers. I didn't want to get stuck with a bunch in case I didn't love it. It works just fine. It's keeping the shimmers and the glitters in place. I usually do my base, layer of shadow first. Because I will use like a color corrector or a concealer, or sometimes I'll do like a Giorgio Armani liquid shadow as my base layer, and then I will go over it with a powder to set it down, and then I will go in with whatever my lid and up to above the crease line is going to be for my shadow. And then after I get all of my mattes on, then I will go through and I will put this down just on where I'm putting a glittery, shimmery something. So this is, I can't tell how much is in here. And these are, opaque. But it is a small one. It's been just fine. It's going to expire anytime now, so I do want to use it up. And I do glittery, shimmery shadows all the time, so that shouldn't be a problem. All right, so there's that. Other things that I am working on panning. This is the Kosas Color Corrector in Magic. I love this. I especially will love using this as from right below the eyebrow all the way down to correct and also prep the lid. When I'm doing a pink look, because it does a lot of brightening and such, so it works out really well. This is technically expired. These expire in 6 months. I did not know that. So I was being ridiculously judicious in not using this when I shouldn't be using this, which really, you know, who's to tell me when to use it or not? It's my stuff. So it is expired. I have not noticed any change in scent, texture, color, and there's been no burning. So I'm rolling with it until one of those things happens. But I am using it more regularly now. And then my other item, this is not yet expired, but this is the Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the color corrector in One Fair. I do very much like this one. I can at least see what I have going on in this. I've got the tiniest little dip. I don't know if you can see the dip, but can you see that dip? I think you can see it from that angle. Okay, so I've got the tiniest dip. I used this today and I went from just below the brow line, I went all the way down, all the way down. I do tend to get a lot of darkness under my eyes. This is a hereditary thing because my girls have it too. I remember my mom having it. I just didn't know if it was age and fatigue. I feel like at least one of my daughters is less fatigued than I am. So this is just a hereditary situation. So I am going to try to use a lot more of this and be less judicious with this one as well because it's going to expire, I think, in September. This one had a really good shelf life though. This one was 18 months. So I did go back and I made a spreadsheet utilizing my Sephora app, my Target app, my Ulta app, my Amazon, everything, so that I knew when my purchase date was, and I get very excited when I get a new thing. So in the day, I would pop it open almost immediately. Like very next day, I guarantee I used most of this stuff the very next day. I am only just now getting to the place where I'm not doing that immediately because I'm making sure that I use up the product before I bring in its replacement. So there's that. Okay, so that's those items. My other project panning item are these two puppies right here. Sorry, I'm trying to, okay, here we go. So these are the ambient, I think it's ambient glow. Ambient soft glow foundation from Hourglass. You can see that there is a lot of windowing on that. I am unsure if that's still all of that left or if it's lower. It feels a little bit like it might be lower. So like you can see the windowing, right? You can see that windowing, but also it looks more translucent a little bit lower down. So I think I am at least halfway through on these two. And the reason why there are two is because Hourglass did not have a color match for me. So I needed to mix two for the color match. I said I went to Italy, we renewed our vows, I practiced my makeup a lot, I knew I was gonna do that. And I had been following a lot of makeup artists to really like watch techniques, you know, learn some tricks so that I could feel confident to do my own makeup in this. And because I only really restarted wearing makeup a year ago for the most part. And before that, it was hit and miss for a number of years. And really, truly, the last time I wore makeup on a consistent basis, I only had one child. I have 4 kids now, and my oldest is 31. So my second is 26. So it's been a good over 25 years since I was consistently wearing makeup, where I was, you know, doing foundation and powder and doing the full works and really was like, had my own techniques going on. So I needed to kind of like relearn everything. Plus all the products are different now. Like everything's different. Blush, for instance, there are so many highly pigmented blushes now. I did not comprehend. Like I had so much blush blindness when I first started because I was putting blush on now as if it was the 90s. And the blushes that were available to me in the 90s either you went to the department store and it was really, really expensive, or you went to the drugstore, because there wasn't like, I'd never seen a Sephora or any type of a makeup store that had any level of an economical choice. And so all of the choices that were available didn't have very highly pigmented blushes, and you were reapplying throughout the day. And setting spray, I literally never heard of that before. So anything that you did put on would just kind of come off, like it wasn't staying put. So we used to carry our makeup around everywhere we went, and we'd reapply our makeup all the time. So that is what I had the experience of. So once I started getting makeup that I didn't need to do that, I really misjudged how much makeup I actually need. And in some instances, I definitely have more eyeshadow and blushers than I really truly need, but I do love all the items that I do have in those categories. So no real regrets on that. I just want to make sure I'm using them to the most that I can possibly use them without them going away. So these two colors here, I have 2.5, and I have 4.5. This one was just really too light on me, and this one was too dark on me, and this one had more of a yellow undertone, and this one had too pinky of an undertone, but putting them together they make more of a neutral undertone and slightly lighter. And there was no like 3 neutral kind of situation. I don't know what they described these at, but trust me when I tell you, we swatched all sorts of ones, and mixing these two was the closest that we could get to doing something that worked. We swatched, and then we mixed, and we did all sorts of things. My daughter helped me with the process. So when I got these, I was really hoping for something that would give, it talks about maybe like it was supposed to do almost like just like a glow, but it was supposed to be like kind of like blurring. And I was like, yes, let's do a blurring type situation. That would look really pretty. And it just, I don't know, it does a little bit of a separating on me. It doesn't quite do the blurring. It fills into my texture in a way where it looks clumpy in some areas and not others. There is a lot of work I have to do to make it not be that way. So after I put it on with a brush, I will go over it, really generous spraying with this, and then I will pat it down with the beauty blender. And I've really got to like work on it. And I'm a little bit lazy in the makeup application. I love to do the eyes, I love to do the blush and the lips, but when it comes to the foundation, I'm not in love with having to do a ton of work on that. And when I put my Kosas on, I have to do almost no work. So these are, I'm hate panning these. I don't love the way it looks. It feels heavy. I knew it was gonna be like a medium coverage. It's more like a full, because I have to put it on so heavy to even it out more with the way it sits in the texture, like in order to even it out so it doesn't sit funny in the texture. So that's what's going on with that. Those are my project pans. I had one more thing that I was panning, and that is this Charlotte Tilbury Pinkasm. I was in fact panning this, except I did in fact finish it today. So I was super excited. So I don't actually have to work on this one anymore. I've had this for 2 years, you guys. Oh my God, 2 years. So I bought this matte pillow talk and a new Pinkasm to go with it. And then I had them for 6 months before I finally had to open this one up because of the look I was doing for my vow renewal, that I wanted to use this and mix some other stuff. So there are my panning. I also am panning one more thing, not because I don't love it, but because it's coming up on age. This is the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner. The color is M.I. Kiss. I think it was formerly known as Bond Girl. I'm not seeing these like in stock anywhere, so I have a feeling they are, I doubt they're getting rid of it, but I think they might be renaming it or reformulating it or something. So it's going to be gone when it's going to be gone, and that's okay. I love it. If I can't replace it with the same thing, I've got another one that I can replace it with, or I just don't do this color for a while and I do something else. I've got a lot of other beautiful colors that I love. And then I also have this 24/7 liquid stick from Urban Decay, It's a burgundy color. It's dual end. It's got this little brushy thing on here. And then it's the retractable, which I do like. The only problem is it doesn't fit nicely in my little drawer that I have here for it. So I like it. It's pretty. It's good expiration date, but I am painting it simply because it doesn't fit in my drawer space correctly. And so I'm getting rid of it for strictly for packaging only. And then my other last two are my minis. I've got Pillow Talk and Pillow Talk Medium, only because they're coming up close to expiration and I want to get all the use out of them that I can, as well as using the lipsticks that go with them. I am getting close to the end of the Pillow Talk in the mini, and then I'll start working on the mini medium because I've had that one a little bit long. I haven't had that one as long. So I'm focusing on the Pillow Talk first and then the other one. And then I will decide if I'm going to replace them at all. I don't know. All right. I think that's it. Thanks for being here for this Project Pan episode 1. I probably won't be doing pictures of progress and stuff. I'm just going to tell you about it simply because I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of having to measure and picture and all line drawing and all that stuff. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. Have a good one and live your intentional life in whatever way it means for you.